The day started like any other on Earth. People went about their daily lives, unaware that everything was about to change. In New York, London, Tokyo, and cities around the world, life moved at its usual fast pace. Then, at exactly 12:00 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, every screen on the planet went black. TVs, computers, smartphones, all of them. For a moment, the world held its breath. Confusion spread quickly. Was this a global hack? A solar flare? Suddenly, all the screens lit up again, but instead of their normal displays, they showed a single image, a massive spaceship entering Earth's orbit. The ship was unlike anything humans had ever seen or built. It was huge, easily the size of a small country, and its sleek design spoke of technology far beyond Earth's capabilities. As people stared at their screens in shock, a voice began to speak. It was calm but firm, and it spoke in perfect English. "People of Earth," the voice said, "we are the Galactic Empire. We have watched your planet for many years. We have seen your wars, your pollution, and your rapid technological growth. We are here to give you a warning." The voice paused, letting its words sink in. In homes, offices, and public spaces around the world, people listened in stunned silence. "You must stay on your planet," the voice continued. "Do not try to expand into space. Do not send more satellites or spacecraft. If you do, you will be destroyed. This is not a negotiation. This is your only warning." The message repeated in several languages, ensuring that everyone on Earth could understand it. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the image of the spaceship vanished. Regular programming resumed on all screens, but nobody was paying attention anymore. Panic spread quickly. In New York City, people poured out of buildings onto the streets, looking up at the sky. In rural villages in India, families huddled around small radios, listening to news reports. In Rio de Janeiro, crowds gathered on the beach, pointing at the sky and arguing about what they had just seen. World leaders scrambled to respond. The U.S. president called an emergency meeting of her top advisors. The Chinese premier ordered the country's military to high alert. The Secretary General of the United Nations tried desperately to organize a global response. As day turned to night around the world, the huge alien ship became visible to the naked eye. It hung in the sky like a second moon, a constant reminder of the incredible situation Earth now faced. Dr. Sarah Chen, a young astrophysicist at NASA, couldn't take her eyes off the ship. She had dreamed of making first contact with aliens her whole life, but not like this. Not with a threat. "We need to study that ship," she said to her colleague, Dr. James Wilson. "If we can understand their technology, maybe we can find a way to communicate with them, to negotiate." James shook his head. "Didn't you hear them? They said no negotiations. We should do what they say. It's safer." But Sarah couldn't accept that. "We can't just give up," she argued. "Humanity has always explored, always pushed boundaries. We can't stop now." As they debated, similar conversations were happening all over the world. Should humanity obey the Galactic Empire's warning, or should they resist? In London, Prime Minister Amelia Thompson addressed her nation. "We face an unprecedented crisis," she said, her voice shaking slightly. "But we will face it together. We will not let fear rule us. We will find a way forward." Meanwhile, in a secret military base in Russia, General Ivan Petrov watched the alien ship through a powerful telescope. "We must prepare for war," he told his officers. "Whether we want it or not, it may come to us." As the first day of this new era came to an end, humanity was divided. Some wanted to obey the Empire's warning, hoping to avoid destruction. Others, like Dr. Chen, wanted to find a way to negotiate or resist. And some, like General Petrov, were already preparing for a fight. One thing was clear: nothing would ever be the same again. The arrival of the Galactic Empire had changed everything. As people around the world went to bed that night, they all wondered the same thing. What would tomorrow bring? The world woke up to a new reality. The giant alien spaceship still hung in the sky, a constant reminder of yesterday's warning. People everywhere felt scared and confused. In Washington, D.C., the U.S. president called a meeting of the world's top scientists and military leaders. They gathered in a big, secret room under the White House. "We need options," the president said, looking tired. She hadn't slept all night. "What can we do?" Dr. Emily Wong, a famous physicist, stood up. "We've studied the alien ship all night," she said. "Its technology is far beyond ours. If they want to destroy us, they can." General Mike Harris, a tall man with a stern face, spoke next. "We can't just give up," he said angrily. "We should fight back." But Dr. Wong shook her head. "Fight with what? Our best weapons would be like throwing rocks at a tank." The room grew quiet. The situation seemed hopeless. Meanwhile, in a small lab in Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka worked nonstop. She was a young robotics expert, known for thinking outside the box. "There has to be a way," she muttered, looking at complex diagrams on her computer. "We can't fight them, but maybe we can outsmart them." Yuki had an idea. A crazy, dangerous idea, but it might be Earth's only hope. Back in the White House, the debate continued. Some leaders wanted to obey the aliens. "If we stay on Earth, they'll leave us alone," they argued. Others disagreed. "We can't trust them," they said. "What if they're lying? What if they plan to invade anyway?" As they argued, a young aide ran into the room. "Mr. President," he said, out of breath, "you need to see this." He turned on a big screen. It showed thousands of people in cities around the world. They were protesting, holding signs that said, "We won't back down, and Earth is ours." The president looked worried. "The people won't accept surrender," she said. "We need another way." Just then, her phone rang. It was the British Prime Minister. "We've got a situation," he said. "A group of civilians in London. They're building a rocket. They say they're going to space, no matter what." The president put down the phone, looking shocked. "It's happening everywhere," she said to the room. "People are resisting on their own. If we don't find a solution fast, someone's going to provoke the aliens." In New York, a group of hackers worked in secret. They thought if they could hack the alien ship's computers, maybe they could learn its weaknesses. It was dangerous, but they felt they had to try. All around the world, people reacted differently. Some prayed. Some partied like it was the end of the world. Others tried to go about their normal lives, pretending nothing had changed. Dr. Sarah Chen, the NASA scientist, couldn't stop thinking about the alien ship. "What if," she said to herself, an idea forming. She rushed to her computer and started typing furiously. As the second day under the alien ship's shadow ended, Earth was a planet divided. Fear, hope, anger, and determination all mixed together. In her lab in Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka finally looked up from her work. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep, but they shined with excitement. "I've got it," she whispered. "I know how we can save Earth." She picked up her phone to call the government, but before she could dial, the ground started to shake. Outside her window, people pointed at the sky in terror. The alien ship was moving, and it was coming down towards Earth. Yuki's hand shook as she dialed the number. "Please pick up," she said. "Please, I know how to save us all." As night fell around the world, humanity held its breath. The next few hours would decide the fate of the entire planet. Would Yuki's plan work? Would the hackers in New York find a weakness? Or would the Galactic Empire make good on its threat? One thing was certain. Earth's dilemma was about to reach its breaking point. The world held its breath as the alien ship descended, but instead of attacking, it stopped, hovering above New York City. A beam of light shot down from the ship, and a figure appeared in Times Square. The alien looked almost human, but with blue skin and large, silver eyes. It spoke, its voice booming across the city. "We are disappointed," it said. You were warned. Now you will face the consequences." Before anyone could react, the alien vanished. The ship rose back into orbit. In Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka finally got through to the world leaders. "I have a plan," she said, her voice shaking with excitement. "We can't match their technology, but we can outsmart them. I've developed an AI that can predict their moves." Meanwhile, in a secret facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Sarah Chen made a breakthrough. "It's not just a defense system," she explained to her team. "It's a way to communicate with them on their level. We can show them we're not a threat." The U.S. President called an emergency global broadcast. "People of Earth," she said, her face serious but hopeful. "We have a chance, but we need everyone's help. This is how we'll resist." She outlined a plan combining Yuki's AI predictions and Sarah's communication system. "But we need more," she added. "We need every brilliant mind, every brave heart. This is humanity's greatest challenge." The response was immediate. All around the world, people volunteered. Scientists, engineers, soldiers, and ordinary citizens, all ready to help. In London, the group building the rocket heard the call. "We'll be the test pilots," their leader said. "If we can get past their defenses, we can prove humanity belongs in space." Hackers from New York to Shanghai worked tirelessly, trying to crack the alien ship systems. They faced tough alien firewalls, but they didn't give up. In Africa, a young girl named Amara had an idea. "The aliens think in different ways," she told her teacher. "Maybe we need to show them art, music. Show them what makes us human." Her idea spread quickly, and soon artists worldwide joined the resistance. But not everyone agreed with fighting back. Some people formed peace groups, arguing that resistance was too dangerous. "We should try to negotiate," they said. This caused arguments and even fights in some cities. The aliens noticed all this activity. They sent more warning messages, each one more threatening than the last. Some people got scared and went into hiding. Others became more determined to resist. Dr. Yuki Tanaka worked day and night, improving her eye. She barely slept or ate. "Just a little more," she kept saying. "We're so close." In her mountain lab, Dr. Sarah Chen faced a different problem. "The communication system works," she told her team. "But will the aliens listen? Will they understand?" The president visited both scientists, seeing their progress firsthand. "You're the hope of humanity," she told them. But privately, she worried. Was this the right choice? Should they be fighting back? As days passed, the resistance grew stronger. Secret bases were built underground and underwater. People trained, prepared, and planned. The whole world became one big team, working together like never before. But the aliens were not idle. Strange lights appeared in the sky at night. Weird signals disrupted radio and TV. Some people reported seeing alien scouts in remote areas. The tension grew every day. Finally, after weeks of preparation, everything was ready. Yuki's eye was complete. Sarah's communication system was set up. The London group's rocket was prepared for launch. Hackers were in position. Artists had created powerful messages to send to the aliens. The president stood before the world again. "Tomorrow," she said, "we take our stand. We show the Galactic Empire that humanity will not back down. We fight not just for our planet, but for our right to reach the stars." As night fell, people everywhere looked up at the alien ship. Some felt fear, others excitement. In homes, in bunkers, in secret bases, humanity waited. Tomorrow would change everything. The resistance was ready to begin. The day of humanity's stand against the Galactic Empire dawned. Around the world, people woke up early, their hearts racing with a mix of fear and excitement. In New York, Dr. Sarah Chen stood in front of her communication system. Her hand shook slightly as she turned it on. "This is it," she whispered to herself. "Our chance to talk to them." Meanwhile, in London, the volunteer astronauts climbed into their homemade rocket. The leader, Jack Thompson, looked at his team. Ready to make history? He asked with a nervous smile. High above the Earth, the alien ship suddenly came to life. It started to glow with a strange, pulsing light. Dr. Yuki Tanaka in Tokyo watched her eye screens carefully. They're going to do something big, she said into her microphone, her voice tense. Everyone, get ready. Just then, a smaller ship detached from the main alien vessel. It started to descend towards Earth. The president's voice came over the global communication system. Stay calm, she said, though she sounded nervous herself. This is what we prepared for. Dr. Chen, you're up. Sarah took a deep breath and pressed the button to send humanity's message. It was a combination of mathematics, music, and images, designed to show peace and intelligence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the small alien ship changed course. It was heading straight for New York. They received our message, Sarah shouted, her eyes wide with disbelief. In London, Jack and his team watched the screens in their rocket. Launch aborted, came the order from Mission Control. Wait and see what happens in New York. The alien scout ship landed smoothly in Central Park. A crowd gathered, held back by nervous police officers. Everyone held their breath as a door opened in the side of the ship. 2 aliens stepped out. They looked around curiously, their large silver eyes blinking in the sunlight. One held up a device, similar to a tablet. Sarah's voice came over the speakers. Hello, she said, her voice trembling slightly. We come in peace. The aliens looked at each other, then at the crowd. One of them spoke, its voice sounding strange but clear. We received your message, it said. It was unexpected. In Tokyo, Yuki's AI was working overtime, analyzing every word and movement of the aliens. Their body language suggests curiosity, not hostility, she reported. The alien continued. Your species was judged too primitive and violent for galactic society. But your message, it shows potential we did not see before. A murmur ran through the crowd. Hope began to rise in people's hearts. But then, something went wrong. A man in the crowd, scared and angry, pulled out a gun. Before anyone could stop him, he fired at the aliens. The shot missed, but chaos erupted. The aliens quickly retreated to their ship. Police tackled the man with the gun. No, Sarah shouted into her microphone. Please, don't go. It was just one person. But it was too late. The scout ship took off, racing back to the mothership. For a terrible moment, everyone thought it was over. They had blown their one chance. Then, surprisingly, a message came from the alien ship. We understand fear, it said, but we also see courage. You will have one more chance to prove yourselves. Relief washed over the world, quickly followed by determination. They had made contact. They had a chance. But they needed to do better. In London, Jack looked at his team. Looks like we might get to fly after all, he said. Yuki's AI had collected valuable data from the encounter. We can do this, she said, her fingers flying over her keyboard. We can show them who we really are. As the sun set on this historic day, humanity knew one thing for sure. Tomorrow would bring their greatest challenge yet. But for the first time since the aliens arrived, they felt real hope. The resistance had made first contact. Now, they had to make it count. The world woke up to a terrifying sight. The alien mothership had moved. It now hovered directly over New York City, its massive shadow darkening the streets below. In her lab, Dr. Sarah Chen worked frantically. We need to send another message, she said to her team. We need to explain what happened yesterday. But before she could act, the sky lit up with a blinding flash. A beam of energy shot down from the alien ship, striking the Statue of Liberty. In seconds, the famous monument crumbled to dust. Panic spread like wildfire. People ran screaming through the streets of New York. Similar scenes played out in cities around the world as news of the attack spread. The president's voice came over emergency broadcasts. Stay calm, she urged. We have a plan. Trust in our defenses. In Tokyo, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's AI system suddenly lit up with activity. "They're targeting major landmarks," she shouted into her communicator. "Paris, London, Beijing. They're all under attack." As if on cue, reports flooded in from around the globe. The Eiffel Tower melted. The Great Wall of China reduced to rubble. Big Ben toppled. But then something unexpected happened. As a beam headed for the Taj Mahal, it suddenly deflected, harmlessly hitting an empty field instead. It worked. Yuki shouted, her eyes wide with disbelief. The defense system worked. Her AI, combined with Sarah's communication technology, had created an invisible shield around Earth. It wasn't perfect. Some attacks got through, but it was saving lives. In London, Jack Thompson and his team watched the chaos unfold on their screens. "We can't just sit here," he said, his jaw set with determination. "Let's get that rocket in the air." Despite protests from Mission Control, Jack and his crew launched their homemade spacecraft. As they broke through the atmosphere, alarms blared in the alien mothership. "Attention, human vessel," came a stern alien voice. "Return to your planet immediately or face destruction." Jack's hands shook on the controls, but his voice was steady. "We come in peace," he said. "We only want to talk." For a tense moment, nothing happened. Then, to everyone's shock, a docking bay opened on the alien ship. Back on Earth, Sarah and Yuki watched in amazement. "They're letting them in," Sarah gasped. But the aliens weren't done with Earth yet. Even as Jack's ship docked, more attack beams rained down on the planet. Cities burned. Millions fled their homes. But everywhere, people fought back in their own ways. In Brazil, a group of eco-warriors used the rainforest to hide vast numbers of refugees. In Egypt, archaeologists rushed to hide ancient treasures in secret underground vaults. And all around the world, regular people became heroes. Firefighters battled impossible blazes. Doctors treated the injured in makeshift clinics. Neighbors helped neighbors. Strangers helped strangers. Through it all, Yuki's AI adapted and learned. With each attack, Earth's defenses grew stronger. More and more alien beams were deflected harmlessly into space. In her lab, Sarah had a breakthrough. "I've decoded more of their language," she said excitedly. I think I can send a message they can't ignore." As the attacks intensified, Sarah prepared her message. It was humanity's last hope. Just then, Jack's voice crackled over the radio from the alien ship. "You're not going to believe this," he said, his voice filled with awe. "But I think we've made some friends up here." The world held its breath. In New York, Paris, Lagos, Sydney, everyone stared at the sky, waiting to see what would happen next. The alien mothership began to pulse with a strange light. Was this the end, or the beginning of something new? Sarah looked at her team, determination in her eyes. "Send the message," she said. "It's now or never." As the fate of Earth hung in the balance, humanity stood united as never before. The Empire had struck hard, but Earth wasn't defeated yet. Not by a long shot. The world waited with bated breath as Dr. Sarah Chen's message was sent to the alien mothership. For a moment, everything was quiet. Even the attacks stopped. Then suddenly, a voice boomed from the sky. It was the alien leader, speaking in perfect English. "Humans," it said, "we have received your message. We are impressed." In the alien ship, Jack Thompson and his crew looked at each other in amazement. They had been treated well by a group of alien scientists who seemed fascinated by humans. "You're Sarah Chen," one alien said to Jack. "She speaks our language as if she were born to it. How is this possible?" Jack smiled proudly. "That's humanity for you," he said, "always full of surprises." Back on Earth, Yuki's AI system was working overtime. It had collected massive amounts of data from the alien attacks and was using it to improve Earth's defenses. "We're not just defending anymore," Yuki said excitedly to her team. "We're learning. We're adapting. All around the world, people began to feel hope again. In the ruins of Paris, a young artist painted a mural of humans and aliens shaking hands. In the busy streets of Mumbai, a group of children played a new game they called Humans vs. Aliens. But in their game, both sides became friends in the end. The alien voice spoke again. "We have misjudged your species," it said. "We thought you primitive, violent. But we see now that you are more. You are creative, resilient, unpredictable." In New York, Sarah's team cheered. Their message had worked. But Sarah herself looked worried. "It's not over yet," she warned. "They're still deciding what to do with us." She was right. The alien ship began to pulse with energy again. But this time, instead of attack beams, it sent down small pods all over the world. People watched in fear and fascination as the pods opened. Out stepped aliens, but they weren't attacking. They were exploring. In Egypt, an alien examined the pyramids with obvious awe. In the Amazon rainforest, another alien gently touched a butterfly, its eyes wide with wonder. And in Antarctica, a group of aliens helped human scientists rescue a trapped whale. Jack and his crew returned to Earth, bringing with them alien scientists eager to learn more about humans. As they stepped out of their ship, crowds cheered. "They're not so different from us," Jack told the world's press. "They're curious. They want to learn. And they're willing to admit when they're wrong." But not everyone was convinced. Some people, scared by the destruction, wanted to fight back. Others, seduced by alien technology, wanted to give up human culture entirely. In a bold move, the president invited the alien leader to address the United Nations. As the leader stepped up to the podium, the whole world watched. "People of Earth," the alien said, "we came here as conquerors. We leave as students, and we hope as friends." The UN erupted in applause, but there was still work to be done. The aliens offered to help rebuild what they had destroyed, but some humans were suspicious of their motives. Yuki's AI proved crucial in these negotiations. It could predict potential conflicts and suggest compromises that worked for both sides. Sarah, meanwhile, worked tirelessly to improve communication between humans and aliens. She developed a universal translator that allowed everyone to understand each other perfectly. As days turned into weeks, the world began to change. Alien technology helped clean up pollution and cure diseases. Human art and music spread across the galaxy, touching alien hearts. There were still challenges, of course. Cultural misunderstandings led to some tense moments, and some humans and aliens never fully trusted each other. But overall, the tide had turned. The war had become a cultural exchange. The invasion had become a meeting of minds. As the sun set on this new era, Sarah looked up at the stars. Once they had seemed so far away. Now they were full of new friends, new adventures, and new possibilities. The human spirit had not just survived the alien invasion, it had thrived. And now, at last, humanity was ready to take its place among the stars. 5 years had passed since the day the aliens first appeared in Earth's sky. The world had changed in ways no one could have imagined. In New York, Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the balcony of the new United Earth and Galactic Embassy. She smiled as she watched humans and aliens walking together in the streets below. "Quite a view, isn't it?" a voice said behind her. It was Jack Thompson, now Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Empire. Sarah nodded. "Sometimes I still can't believe it's real," she said. Inside the embassy, Dr. Yuki Tanaka was presenting her latest AI project to a mixed group of human and alien scientists. Her AI now helped manage interstellar communications and predicted potential conflicts before they could start. "With this system," Yuki explained, "we can ensure peaceful cooperation between all species in the galaxy." The aliens nodded, impressed. One of them spoke up. "When we first came to Earth, we thought we were superior. Now, we learn something new from humans every day." Meanwhile, in schools around the world, Children were learning about alien cultures alongside human history. In a classroom in Nigeria, a young girl raised her hand. "Teacher," she asked, "can we visit the alien world someday?" The teacher smiled. "Yes, Adana. In fact, the first human-alien exchange program starts next month." Excitement rippled through the class. The idea of traveling to the stars, once a distant dream, was now a reality. But not everything was perfect. In some parts of the world, there were still people who distrusted the aliens. They formed groups protesting against what they called the loss of human identity. To address these concerns, the president called a special global broadcast. "We haven't lost our identity," she said. "We've grown. We've evolved. Today, we are not just citizens of Earth, but citizens of the galaxy." Her words resonated with many. In response, artists and musicians created new works celebrating this new era of humanity. A popular song, "Stardust in Our Veins," became an anthem for this new age. In space, human ingenuity continued to impress the galactic community. Jack Thompson led the first human team to help resolve a conflict between two alien races. Their creative solution earned humans a seat on the Galactic Council. "Humans have a unique way of thinking," an alien counselor commented. "They find possibilities where we see none." Back on Earth, Sarah made another breakthrough. She developed a technology that allowed humans to directly experience alien senses. Suddenly, people could see ultraviolet light like some aliens or feel magnetic fields like others. "This isn't just about cool experiences," Sarah explained to reporters. "This is about understanding. Real, deep understanding between species." The technology was a huge success. It opened up new forms of art, new scientific discoveries, and new levels of empathy between races. As the 5th anniversary of First Contact approached, the world prepared for a grand celebration. In every city, humans and aliens worked together to create spectacular displays. On the big day, the alien leader and the president of Earth stood side by side to address the galaxy. "5 years ago, we came here as conquerors," the alien leader said. "We were wrong. Humanity showed us a better way." The president nodded. "And you showed us that we're not alone in the universe. Together, we're stronger than we ever were apart." As fireworks lit up the sky around the world, Sarah, Jack, and Yuki watched from the embassy balcony. "We did it," Jack said, his voice full of wonder. "We really did it." Yuki nodded. "We faced our greatest challenge, and we rose to meet it." Sarah looked up at the stars, shining brightly alongside the fireworks. "This is just the beginning," she said. "Who knows what we'll achieve in the next 5 years, or the next 50. As the celebration continued into the night, there was a feeling in the air, a feeling of hope, of possibility, of a future brighter than anyone had ever dreamed. Humanity had not just survived, it had thrived. And now, standing united with their new alien friends, they were ready to face whatever the vast, mysterious universe might bring next. It was, truly, a new dawn for Earth and all its people.